Good evening and salutations, my B&B fans. This episode wasn't terrible. It wasn't really too great, but it wasn't terrible either. Um, Grace, I don't know what it is today, but Grace usually gets my blood boiling, okay? Because she comes across as this very entitled woman of, I'm your mother, and I could sit there and say what I want, and I could sit there and tell you what to do, and this, that, and the third. And normally that would just, like, really anger me. But today she was more like a gnat, okay? Like, she's annoying, but it's like, maybe because I've been so angry every time that I've seen her, then now I'm just like, yeah, it's you. Now, Grace just, first of all, she just walks inside of, I guess her place. Maybe it's her place, maybe it's Carter's place. I have no idea where they're at. But she just walks on in and she's all like, get your lips off my daughter. Da, 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 da. And she just keeps going on and on and on. And I mean, listen, here's the thing. I give Carter a hell of a lot of props because I'm going to be completely honest with you. Majority of the men would not put up with her mother. Okay, I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn how fine she is. After a while, majority of men would not put up with her attitude at all. I'm actually starting to get kind of annoyed about that. Is that he just takes a lot of the crap that she dishes, and I feel like it's one of those things where it's like, don't look at that soap up and think that that's real. Because I'm going to be completely honest with you. If you act like that to your daughter's boyfriend or future boyfriend, if you go at them with that level of aggression, it is not going to go well. Okay? Trust me, it's not. Um, Once again, she's starting with her usual BS, blah, 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 blah. I don't want you, my daughter, the usual garbage. Now, great. Now, Paris shows her the ring and talks about how, you know, Carter wants to get married soon. Now, despite me not liking certain characters, this doesn't go for this show. This doesn't just go for this show. This goes for any of the shows that I watch. Been watching my General Hospital shows. You know how much I don't like Nina and Days as Allie and so forth. And as much as I do not like or despise some of these characters, and Grace, honestly, to tell you the truth, got to be like the worst one. Um, as much as I cannot stand the fact that this woman draws breath, I will give her, and I feel like I'm killing myself on the inside by saying this, but I have to sit there and be fair, regardless how much I can't stand a particular character. I will give her credit for pointing out the obvious. What's the rush? If he really means, if you really mean that much to him, then why don't he just courtship you? Why don't he just plan this out? A real long lasting, engagement. I mean, not too long, but like what's the rush? Paris, I'm gonna be completely honest. I know she's in love and everything like that, but I'm like, damn, girl. I'm like, there's a problem when I'm agreeing with this woman. I wouldn't even want to agree that the sky is blue with her. Okay? But she just defends him like there's no tomorrow. Carter says very little to a point where, Paris is like, listen, I gotta talk to her by ourselves. I'm not gonna lie, when she said that, I was like, okay, cool. So why don't y'all just step outside? Because here's the thing, if that was his place, And I'm guessing that's his place. If that was his place, first of all, oof, let some woman just walk up on, let any person just walk up in my place like that, no knocking, no nothing. Oof. I feel bad for them. That's all I'm going to sit there and say. I generally feel bad for them. Be a cold damn hell before anyone just walks up inside my place that I don't really know or really be messing around with. Mm-mm. So when she said that, and she was like, "Oh no, I gotta sit there and talk to my mom for a little bit." I was like, "All right, cool." Oh no, there's a cafe I can go to. There's a diner. You didn't actually think that I was leaving, right? You know, I was actually leaving my. What are you nuts? So they talk more, and to be honest, it really doesn't go anywhere. One of the things that Paris did sit there and say was, "Carter isn't dad." You know, for a good while, when you really think about that, maybe that explains some of her anger on Carter. You know, but I'm like, bro, I get it. You dated a scumbag. You dated a loser. Don't sit there and project your feelings on your daughter and him because of bad choices that you made. Like, are you kidding me? I just well, that's going on. You know, Zende, whatever this model's name is that I honestly don't really care to sit there and remember. But you know, she was sitting there just being hella desperate, hella thirsty, making it awkward as hell to sit there and be flirting with Zende, and it was just like, girl, can you just please stop? Like, you're in LA. Like, there there must be thousands of different guys that you could sit there and do that with. Why are you doing this at work? In front of your manager. Like in front of your boss. Like why would you do that for? It I've seen them do that before and it's just gotten to a point where it's just like it's so bad. It's so bad and it's so I don't want to sit there and say cringy, but it's just like, bro, just like stop. Like what are you doing? You're gorgeous. Why are you so desperate for her? Like that's what it just generally comes across as. Desperate. After that they talk about Paris and Carter and you know, he's like, listen, I'm not thrilled about it, but I want her to be happy and I don't want to sit there and really go too hard on the guy. You know, but he was feeling some sort of way because he talked to him. He talked to Carter. And for Carter to really be sitting there kind of, you know, plotting behind his back and, you know, wanting to be with his girl the whole time, there's a level of just effed upness, you know? And in a lot of ways, I feel like that's so unrealistic as far as Zinni just being like, no, it's cool. I mean, if they want to get together, I'm not going to stop them. I'm like, bro, I get that you want her to be happy and everything like that, but you tell me you don't have any sort of words. Like you're not mad at all. Like I feel like a bit more aggression should be coming from them. I really do. Um, right after they talk for a little bit, Carter comes in there and talks to Reg, and you know, I honestly tell you the truth, Reg, mostly he's concerned about Carter. He feels that these, you know, him just hooking up with Paris out of nowhere, it doesn't seem like it really adds up. He's like, what is going on with you? Like, what's up with you? And then he finds out that Carter is marrying um Paris, and he's like, yo, what is going on with you? Because he feels like he's rushing it. He's like, you know, y'all only been dating for not that long. And, you know, of course, like, well, you know, nothing's going to change and I got to move on my life and yada, yada, yada. And throughout their conversation, Ridge realizes that, you know, Carter doesn't love Paris. Not like, you know, because he's like, I've seen you be in love. I've seen you be in love when you were in love with Quentin. You don't love Paris. And I think he said towards the end, you're still in love with Quentin. You know, he realized that this whole I'm going so hard on Paris, now I'm sitting there marrying her and everything like that. He realizes that this is just a distraction. a way to bury his feelings by forcibly moving on with someone else. And I'm glad that he came to that conclusion because, let's be honest, let's not have this drag out any longer than it needs to. Now, while that's going on, Quinn is there talking to Eric, and I'm going to be completely honest, this kind of got on my nerves. Quinn is doing a lot of double talk. She's talking about marriage and feeling like, like it's nice to sit there and feel like you belong in a marriage and stuff like that. And I want us to get to that place. I want to get to that place with you. And she's talking about, when mistakes are made and, it makes your marriage kind of rocky and it's wondering if you're ever going to get back to that place. And I'm just like, why don't you just say how you feel? And granted, I get it. It's a soap opera, so they got to prattle on with these speeches and things of that nature. But it's one of those things where it's like, if you want Eric to actually listen to you, then you need to talk to him like a human being and not like some sort of romance novel. It almost seemed as though like a lot of the stuff was going over Eric's head until they start talking about Carter. Start talking about Carter, and I could have swore towards the end that's when Eric was like, Carter is still in love with you. Now, Quinn, like an idiot, okay, is like, I'm worried about Carter and stuff like that, and being with Paris, and he's just blurting out all his info. Oh, he doesn't really love, I don't think that he really has the same feelings for Paris that Paris has for him, and Eric was like, wow, well, he married her, so he must have some sort of feelings, like, and it got to a point where Eric was like, he's not in love with Paris. So who is he in love with? Quinn has that look on her face like, no, Lucian. Like, boo, if you just would have stopped. The problem was she already opened the gate when she said she was worried about Carter. Because then she dropped it, and Eric was like, no, it's cool. I get it. That's you're always going to care about him. I'm secure enough to handle that. I'm not going to be angry about that. But it was like, it led her down a rabbit hole of exposing himself. Of exposing herself. Um, Apparently, Eric wasn't planning on going to the club to play some more pickleball, which is pretty much tennis. Okay, it's tennis. All right, we can call it pickleball if you want, but let's be honest. It's tennis. All right, it likes to say, oh, you want to sit there and play softball? You mean baseball? Yeah, softball. Yeah, sure, softball. Pickleball. I'm not a sports person, but I'm just as I looked at it, I was like, it's pretty much the same damn thing. There's a little minor changes, but it's pretty much the same damn thing. I feel like that's about it. I'm gonna be completely honest. When I found out that GH was not on today or whatever, it was gonna be interrupted, it's gonna be doing it tomorrow. I thought that this was gonna get interrupted as well. I looked and I was like, and then I remember somebody else. Her name is Jessica. I can't pronounce her last name, but it's like Jessica. It's like with a J, but it's Jessica. I think that's her name. That's her. She put out a review, so I was like, no, it's on. But I felt like it was going to be off because they've been doing that throughout the week, just interrupting shows for the trial and everything like that. And so I'm happy. And honestly, to tell you the truth, B&B was actually still better than Days for some odd reason, which I'm always shocked about. I feel like that's about it. So with that being said, I'm looking at my notes, I'm like, nothing else really happened. So yeah, with that being said, I'm gonna go. I want to thank you for watching. Be safe. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. See you in the next video.